Hollywood has made another $1,000. Hollywood has made another $1,000. Hollywood has made another $1,000. Unit 8. Listening Comprehension. A new dealmaker.
Hi, how much is this t-shirt?
It's 20 yuan, please.
A little expensive.
Unit 8. Listening Comprehension. A new Unit 8. Listening Unit 8.
Iceberg, right ahead!
You do not talk about Fight Club.
Lloyd. Eat fucking Timothy.
The US film culture. Everyone knows it, many love it, many hate it. Everyone has seen this sign at least twice, and Hollywood has raised billions of dollars with movies like Oppenheimer, Barbie, or of course, this superhero movie. Or this superhero movie. Or these superhero movies. Or this not so superhero TV series.
Hey, Chelsea. Jump.
Many young directors, actors or whatever wanted to become big and famous through Hollywood, and many became. It really was the manifestation of the American dream. And then there were some people who looked at that and told themselves, hell nah, that looks like shit. And that was the beginning of the US indie film culture. But before we have a look at a few examples for the US indie film culture, a big question needs to be answered. How can it exist? Making films and TV series with practically no budget is extremely difficult in general, but additionally, you didn't have this to push through right next to you. But that didn't stop the filmmakers. They had nothing but a will and a vision. So how did they do it? Well, no matter where. To draw attention, you have to do things differently. Basically, every US indie production is an extreme contrast to your basic Hollywood film. No action, no explosions, no heroes. Instead, you get realistic stories, niche themes, dialogue, and most of all, experiments. Without budget, the directors needed to experiment with various things, often resulting in mess and chaos. Today, the self-proclaimed anti-Hollywood director John Cassavetes is known as the father of US indie films. He wanted to make films more honest and more raw than Hollywood ones. His first film, Shadows from 1959, which he made by telling his friends to improvise, is known as the birth of American indie films! After years of searching, we found a genius scientist who developed a method to visualize a normally impossible dialogue between two people of choice. To visualize the contrast Cassavetes resembled against Hollywood, we asked the scientists to show us a conversation between John Cassavetes and the famous Hollywood director Christopher Nolan. The name of this genius scientist is Merton Bruno Ben Merton.
Oh, you're already recording? You see this? This is the future.
Thou dost craft thy films like a master clockmaker, Nolan. All gears and polish. But where, I ask thee, is the mess, the chaos, the beating heart of man?
Good Cassavetes, chaos without order is but noise. My art is bend time and space to wave sense from confusion. Didst thou not marvel when Paris folded upon itself?
Paris folded! Ha! I fold not cities, but marriages, friendships, souls. A quarrel or bread and wine reveals more than 1,000 explosions.
Yet the people crave explosions and cape heroes to save the day. Wouldn't thou then pay coin to watch endless drunken arguments at thy super tables?
Aye, for therein lies truth. Better to see a woman weep, a man break, than to watch cities crumble for the 100th time.
Then we are not brethren in craft, but strangers.
Nay, not strangers, rivals. For thy cinema seeks to dazzle the mind, whilst mine seeks to wound the heart, and mayhap the heart bleeds longer. Good morning, folks. My name is Tim Wilke.
And my name is Bang.
And our reporter's name is...
My name?
Well, as y'all could already see, the main reasons for the indie cinema's existence were the extreme contrast to Hollywood and the creative freedom. After Cassavetes, many other directors like David Lynch, Dennis Hopper, or even Quentin Tarantino were part of the indie film culture. But nearly everyone had the problem of too little budget. But don't worry, Merton Fake Ass now tells us how the directors compensated the lack of money.
Hello guys, money is everything, right? Of course it is. But how did the indie directors manage to make products without it? John Cassavetes asking his friends was a little extreme, but the general idea to compensate not existing money was the dialogue. For two characters talking, only a camera and lights are needed. No effects, no difficult filming. For that reason, the indie films are often appear to be boring due to its heavy dialogues. But a few directors manage to make it interesting enough to achieve cult standards.
Thanks, Mr. Fikes. And that leads us to our next point. The director David Lynch is known for its very experimental style. But that made his dialogue-heavy TV series Twin Peaks extremely famous and is even widely known today. Merton Fikes will show us now some of the most iconic scenes in Twin Peaks.
Hello again, our low-wage employee will now show some live acting. You will see the original shot right next to me. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Thanks, Mr. Fikes. To make it clear how big and famous indie films can become, there is one perfect example. Please, Merton Fikes.
What's up, folks? I'm sure many of you have heard of the film Pulp Fiction, which revolutionized storytelling by telling a non-liner. But technically, even this famous film is in US indie production, even though the budget was quite higher than the Cassavetes ones. But the idea to tell a story with multiple timelines, which only makes sense the longer the film proceeds, is unthinkable to come out of a Hollywood director's mind. You could say all the indie films are big experiments and only a few, like Pulp Fiction, were a success. Now some more live acting.
Thanks, Mr. Fikes. And now, last but not least, the weather presented by Merton Fikes.
Hello, folks. As you can clearly see here, the weather is going to be bad.
So, thank you, Mr. Fikes. And we had a great time, and I hope you guys had a great time too. And see you again, folks. Goodbye.
But of course we need to flip the coin as well, because the iconic fails of indie films are as famous as the masterpieces. For example, there is Birdemic, Shock and Terror from James Nguyen, who thought it was a good idea to bet on CGI and effects despite a very low budget. What you are seeing now is unedited, uncutted footage of the actual film. Also worth mentioning is the questionable acting in The Room from Tommy Wiseau and Manners, The Hands of Fate from Harold P. Warren.
Not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Honey, what client?
I cannot tell you. It's confidential.
Oh, come on. Why not?
No, I can't. Anyway, how is your sex life?
I am Michael. I take care of the place while the master...
But our favorite one of these has to be these incredible death scenes from Samurai Cop from Amir Shervan. Even though these were just some of the many failed projects, the hidden gems exist. David Lynch's Twin Peaks is a perfect combination of humor and crime, and while these certain scenes may take some time to get used to, Exactly these scenes make you wonder afterwards if you will get something like this ever again. And of course, that's not the only success of indie films. Through many so-called film festivals, many directors had a chance to show their work to a small audience, while they could even win some awards. For that reason, very successful films like Reservoir Dogs from Quentin Tarantino or Clerks from Kevin Smith rose to the daylight. Additionally, many directors used this opportunity as a shortcut to Hollywood. In conclusion, the US indie film culture's reasons for existing, despite having Hollywood right next to it, are the extreme contrast to Hollywood productions, the given opportunities from the film festivals, and most importantly, the insane amount of experimentation. Directors like Tommy Wiseau showed us that failing is part of the game, but he still continued and never gave up. Directors like David Lynch showed us that weirdness isn't necessarily bad, and every indie director showed us that nothing works instantly. They kept on experimenting, they kept on failing, they kept on trying, and they kept on dreaming. And eventually, someday they succeeded. No matter how little our possibilities, no matter how hard the struggles, no matter how hard the failures, as long as we keep on trying and experimenting, we will eventually succeed someday. Until that day comes, everyone may reach for the highest star!